The irony. What is up, guys? My name is Judge Prime, here again with another video. This time we're doing an album review of CDQ's Quality album. Now, CDQ, Nigerian rapper, I guess you could class him as, released his Quality album earlier this week. Gave it a listen, and I'm going to say I am completely unimpressed by this project. This entire project feels generic, unimaginative, lazy, sloppy, and bland. This album represents my problem with Nigerian music. There are about 17 tracks on this album, and it opens with the track Shanowale, which to me sounded very generic. The flow was very lazy. The production felt very mediocre. Now, mind you, this entire album was produced by Mastercraft, who is a great producer, but throughout this project it just felt very lazy. And I guess you can't blame Mastercraft because he's only doing what, or I would assume he's only doing what his client CDQ wants him to make. He featured Ice Prince on this track. Ice Prince to me had a lot more charisma in his flow and his delivery, and on this track the beat was, like I said, lacked imagination, and the hook was not catchy at all to me. Moving on to track 2's Salaro, it felt like a very South African song, and it just failed miserably to do anything for me. Song Ferrari, produced by Mastercraft, it's an okay song. Again, another thing that this album suffers from is the fact that it's very generic and unimaginative. Noah Isoke featuring Wizkid, again he's overshadowed by his feature, who in the person of Wizkid. And I will say throughout this album, lazy. His flow, I don't know if it's just his flow is not suited for me, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any charisma, any vibe, and I didn't feel anything personal with CDQ. Now, you could say maybe I didn't understand the Yoruba, but I don't think language is such a huge barrier to your music. He doesn't sound like a unique artist to me. He sounds like all these rappers that were born after someone like Dagreen. His features, he was overshadowed by his features. His production was very generic. It just sounded like he got a bunch of what he thought to be bangers and just lazily gave a few lyrics over them in the hopes that this would be a commercially successful album. It lacked any personal touch. It lacked any depth to it. It lacked anything that would make you feel like this is CDQ. Listening to this, you wouldn't know that besides the fact that he repeats his name several times on a track, you wouldn't see it or hear anything that would make this album stand out. And that's a problem I've had with Nigerian music. We've had artists who have been successful with one sound, and then every artist after that replicates the sound till the sound itself becomes dull and boring. This album is one good example of that, and I didn't really vibe with it. It felt very generic, and even with the fact that it was generic, it wasn't entirely enjoyable to me. Yes, there were a couple of times here and there when I was bopping to it, but I was mainly grooving to it because of the production and not because the artist added any particular value to it. So like I said, the entire album, very unimaginative, generic, bland. I wouldn't recommend you this album, but maybe if you don't mind the generic nature of this type of Nigerian music, you could give it a listen. If you like Mastercraft's production, then you could give it a listen. There were times on this album when the production itself was just conflicting. There was so much going on, like on a song like Otishe, where everything was just happening it just lacked any sense of direction. And I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at this from a very different angle, but to me this album, especially with the quality music that has been coming out this year, especially from Nigerian artists, if I'm to give this a rating, I'd give it maybe a 3 or 4 if I'm generous. Just entirely generic, lacked anything. And I kind of got the feeling that this would be the path that this album would go by, simply looking at its looking at the album art. And shout out to Filter Free, where they wrote an article about how lazy the album cover is, and the laziness continues in the songs themselves. So I don't know, it might seem like I'm hating. I'm not hating, I just want there to be quality music, and this doesn't sound like quality music despite its name. So CDQ, you have to go and create something that actually is you, that's authentic, that's relatable, that's genuine. This just sounds like a rip-off, and it won't stand the test of time. Like I said, a 3 to a 4. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. My name is Nigerian Prime. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I hope you have a blessed day. Goodbye.